Hey, what is going on everyone? This is iReviews back with another video, and we're talking about the new settings of iOS 14. Of course, with every iOS update, there are new settings that Apple will add to that software update. So in this video, I will show you guys 15 new iOS 14 settings that you should change right now. Of course, alongside with that, I will also give you a reason to why you should change that setting on your iPhone. The first setting we're talking about is called private address. Now this setting can be found under the Wi-Fi settings. So you go to Wi-Fi, you tap the little I button at the network that you're connected to, and then you will find here private address. Now what private address does is it will basically reduce tracking of your iPhone across different Wi-Fi networks. So if you go ahead and take a look at this, make sure you have it turned on. It will help a lot, of course, on the privacy of your iPhone. This should be on by default, but if it's off, go ahead and turn it on. The next setting can be found under sounds and haptics. Right here we have a new section called reduce loud sound. So you have headphone audio. This is for headphones. Of course, you want to keep your ears healthy. So what you need to do is go ahead and enable reduce loud sounds. Now you will also have a slider here, which allows you to set a limit for the sounds. So as you move the slider, you can see you move between different scales of decibels, and it will also basically give you a description of how loud that sound is, and you can go ahead and adjust this the way you want to. On iOS 14, we have the new app library feature. It is really great, and probably most of us will have our apps there. You will have a few of them on the home screen and most of them on the app library. But app library won't show you badges when apps have notifications. So what you need to do is go to settings and go to this new section here called home screen. When you go here, you can go ahead and enable notification badges for the apps on the app library. And now whenever you go to the app library, you will see which app has a notification. On iOS 14, Apple has made Magnifier a standalone app, but you won't see it anywhere on the home screen. You will have to actually enable it, and that can be done by going to Settings, go to Accessibility, go to Magnifier, and here we'll have an Enable button to enable the new Magnifier app, which also has totally been revamped. It has been redesigned from the ground up. A very important feature on iOS 14 is also sound recognition. That can be found under Accessibility. Here we'll have sound recognition and you can turn it on from here. Now what this does is that it makes your iPhone listen for different sounds, and then it will give you notifications when it hears that sound. So you go here, you enable it, and you will have a list of different sounds that it can recognize, and you will basically go ahead and enable these, and anytime your iPhone will hear any of those sounds, it will send you a notification. Under Accessibility, you will also find a Siri section. Now right here, what you need to do is enable this option right here, show apps behind Siri. Now this is basically for aesthetics reasons, so if you go ahead and disable this, you can see how bad Siri looks. You can see this is really ugly, will get just like that gray background. But if you enable this and you're on an app on home screen anywhere, it just shows Siri down there and you will still see a view of your app in the background. Also here we have another option that you should change, voice feedback. Now this is really important. You can go ahead and choose with silent mode off. So basically what it does is that it will give you a voice feedback from Siri only when your iPhone is unmuted. When you mute your iPhone, Siri basically won't speak out loud. So that's very useful, and of course very convenient to be that way. When your iPhone is muted, of course you don't want it to make sounds. You will basically have Siri muted as well, and it will only show the result on the screen. A new very important setting has been added under the privacy section. So you go to privacy, you go to location services, and you will have a list of all the apps that require to use your location. Now this is really cool what Apple has done here. You can have an app track your location, but not your precise location. So if I go to Instagram, for example, you can see here it has permission to basically have access to my location, but it actually doesn't know my precise location because it's turned off. Now, if you want an app to have your precise location, you can enable this, but for most of the apps, of course, you don't want to do that. You just go ahead and disable precise location, and then that app won't actually have your precise location. Of course, that's better for your privacy. Under privacy, you will also find a new section called local network. Now, right here, we'll find a list of all the apps that have required to have access to your local network. Now, sometimes when we install apps, we just go ahead and give permissions. We just want to go to the app and we don't really care, don't bother to read what it's saying, and you probably have given permission to a few apps that you don't want to. So you go to settings, go to privacy, go to the new local network section, and you can take a look at all the apps that have permission to your local network. And of course, if you don't want them to have that, you just go ahead and turn them off from here. Another really important setting can be found under the photos. So if you go to photos, you will see now the list of all the apps that have access to your camera roll. But now with iOS 14, you don't have to give permission to an app to completely have control, basically access to your camera roll. You can only permit that app to have access to certain photos that you want to. So if we go right here, we can just tap on selected photos, and now we can select a bunch of photos to which we want to give this app permission to have access to, and then this app will only have access to those specific photos, not the all albums, the all camera roll on our iPhone. Under the music settings, you will also find a new setting here called motion. Now, what this does, it basically animates the cover art on the albums when you're playing music, and that of course looks cool, but it consumes battery and also data if you're playing your music through your data. So what you need to do here is go ahead and maybe choose Wi-Fi only or completely turn it off. If you leave it at on, then it will basically play when your device is connected to your Wi-Fi, to your cellular data. So you don't want to do that, just choose Wi-Fi only. There is a new app on iOS 14 called Translation. Of course, it allows you to translate between different languages. On the settings of this app, you will find a setting that you need to turn on. It's called on-device mode. So what this does, it allows you to download languages so you can basically go ahead and translate between those languages without having to be connected to the internet. So of course, you open the app and you go ahead and download the languages that you want to have on your iPhone, and then you will be able to translate between those without having to be connected to the internet. There are a few settings that are new on the camera settings as well, and you need to turn on. One of them right here is use volume up for burst. So if you want to quickly take pictures, you want to take burst pictures, you can use the volume up button, but you have to enable it right here. Also, you can now enable mirror front camera. So if you want to get that mirror effect, a lot of people want that on the camera, go ahead and enable the setting right here. And if you need to quickly take pictures, you want to prioritize fast shooting of pictures, then go ahead and enable this button right here, photo capture, prioritize faster shooting under the settings of the camera app. So that's basically it for this video, guys. These are 15 new settings on iOS 14 that you need to change and basically turn on or off, or just change around in order to get more out of iOS 14, get better performance, better privacy, as well as better battery life on your iPhone. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go ahead and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys on the next one.